In the early 19th century, George Gordon, Lord Byron, was one of Europe's most famous men, celebrated romantic poet. His fame stretched far beyond literature. He was a cultural icon whose every move was scrutinized and imitated. Tall, handsome, and famously self-indulgent, Byron cultivated an image of tortured beauty. But behind the legend was a man consumed by insecurity over his body, a fear that drove him to one of the deadliest fad diets in history, the vinegar regimen. From a young age, Byron struggled with weight. As a teenager, he was mocked for being fat and lumpy, and though he later grew into the striking figure adored by society, the shame never left him. In an era obsessed with slimness, especially for aristocrats who equated thinness with refinement, Byron became fixated on controlling his body. What emerged was a dangerous routine that would leave lasting scars on his health. Byron's diet was as simple as it was extreme. He ate little more than dry biscuits, occasionally boiled potatoes drenched in vinegar, and drank carbonated water spiked with vinegar to suppress his appetite. Some days he subsisted almost entirely on vinegar-soaked vegetables. The acidic liquid eroded his teeth, upset his digestion, and weakened his body. Byron also exercised obsessively, pacing and riding for hours to burn off calories he barely consumed. What made his diet especially influential was his fame. His admirers, particularly young women, copied Byron's habits in a desperate attempt to achieve his thin, pale look. Reports from the period describe schoolgirls fainting after adopting the vinegar diet, and physicians warned of its dangers. In effect, Byron helped create one of history's first celebrity diet fads, foreshadowing the influence that stars and influencers would wield centuries later. As if the diet weren't damaging enough, Byron's health was further undermined by his doctors. Medicine at the time still clung to bloodletting, the belief that draining blood could rebalance the body's humors and restore health. Byron underwent frequent bloodletting sessions, leaving him weak and vulnerable. Combined with chronic malnutrition, the treatment stripped his body of its ability to fight disease. In 1824, while fighting for Greek independence, Byron fell ill with a fever in Missolonghi. His doctors, adhering to outdated practice, bled him repeatedly, further weakening his already frail system. Within days, he collapsed. At only 36 years old, one of the greatest poets of the Romantic Age was dead not from a glorious battle, but from a mixture of quack medicine, starvation, and misguided vanity. The tragedy of Byron's death is inseparable from the cultural forces of his time. His obsession with thinness mirrored the growing romantic ideal of pale, fragile beauty, and his followers' willingness to copy his diet foreshadowed the cycles of celebrity influence we still see today. In a sense, Byron's vinegar diet was not only the ruin of a man, but also a warning. The pursuit of beauty at any cost often exacts a deadly price. Byron's legacy as a poet endures, but his diet remains a grim footnote in history, a reminder that fame magnifies even the most dangerous behaviors, turning private obsessions into public trends.